live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. We are ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I'm Charita Vinupurarachi. Joining with me today is Kasuni Balachandra. Minister Dhammika Perera says the Prime Minister should relinquish duties as Minister of Finance. A systematic investigation into a transaction alleged to have been taken place between the Ministry of Aviation and a private institute. Minister Nimal Siripal de Silva resigns from his post. The President engages in a telephone conversation with the Russian President, focusing special attention on the Sri Lankan situation. World's richest country in front of an economic crisis. Preparations to use gold coins in place of Zimbabwe dollar. The Prime Minister says a gas ship is scheduled to arrive in the island on the 9th of this month. Signs of the ending of the railway strike. Civil organizations reiterate that news reporting should come in line with media ethics. Bail granted on 12 persons including Hirunika Premachandra.
We move on to those and other stories in detail. Minister Dhammika Perera says Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe should resign from the post of Finance Minister. He has made these observations at a media briefing in Colombo today.
The Finance Minister planned for disaster. The Minister of Finance has
Minister Dhammika Perera said that he's getting ready to the struggle from today itself. He added that he came to the government only a week before and saw what is happening.
The Finance Minister planned to borrow money from friends. The Minister of Finance had no future cash flow planning for the country. Further, the Minister delayed all the matters related to the dollar earnings, borrowing, bridging finance, available credit lines and essential good credit lines. I think for this reason, the Minister of Finance should resign.
And meanwhile, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has instructed relevant divisions to immediately conduct a systematic investigation into the charges raised by the opposition leader in Parliament yesterday regarding a transaction between the Ministry of Aviation Services and a private institution. Minister Nimal Siripal de Silva has taken measures to temporarily resign from the portfolio of the Minister of Port, Shipping and Aviation until conclusion of the investigation on the instructions of the President. Nimal Siripal de Silva has forwarded a letter to the President regarding his temporary relinquishing of duties in the ministerial post. He has stated in the letter that although the relevant accusations has not been directly launched against him, the project relating to the relevant airline company comes under the purview of the Airport and Aviation Services Company, which is under the ministry. Nimal Siripal de Silva further says that therefore an opinion could be created among the general public that this is a charge directed at him. He has therefore requested the Prime Minister to accept his temporary resignation, allowing for an unbiased investigation into the incident, safeguarding the credibility of the government and his innocence.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says he was engaged in a constructive telephone conversation with Russian President Vladimir Putin. A Twitter message of the President further says that the President has expressed his gratitude to the Russian President for extending support to Sri Lanka in previous occasions when the country was confronting challenges. The President's message has further pointed out that he has sought cooperation in Sri Lanka, overcoming its economic challenges and fuel importation. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was also reported to have requested the Russian President to resume Aeroflot air travel to Sri Lanka, which is currently being suspended. The President's Twitter message further says discussions were centered on the importance of enhancing bilateral cooperation in the fields of economy and tourism.
Fuel distribution from Lanka IOC filling stations is being carried out. However, long queues to purchase fuel have been observed in many parts of the island continuously. Reports have been received regarding many IOC filling stations island-wide not receiving fuel for several days. A program is underway to provide fuel via SLTB depots to private buses as well as to vehicles of economic centres and tea factories. A group which came to an IOC filling station in Valawai last night was reported to have clashed, demanding fuel. A police official was injured to an incident. Our correspondent says that thereafter the police fired shot into the air in order to control the situation. It has also been reported that 13 suspects and 20 motorcycles have been taken into police custody in this connection. The Kapetipola SLTB depot is implementing a program to provide fuel to traders arriving at Kapetipola Special Economic Centre. The Trade Association of the Economic Centre says that number of traders arriving at the centre has increased. A rapid decline has been witnessed in the arrival of traders to the Tambutte-Kabua Economic Centre. The reason is attributed to the fuel storage. Bandaravela milk farmers have been subjected to severe difficulties in the past few days due to not having enough fuel supplies. However, the Bandaravela SLTB depot has taken measures to provide fuel to these farmers. The Ratnapura SLTB depot is also engaged in providing fuel for private buses as well as for vehicles of tea factories. Minister Harin Fernando says that drivers registered to the tourism industry are able to purchase fuel after furnishing information regarding their travel itineraries. People in the eastern province appear to be more inclined towards using push cycles these days.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that he has instructed relevant institutions to make way for the importing of essential items by setting aside all other factors. The Prime Minister was responding to several queries raised in Parliament today. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara has also expressed opinion regarding fuel ships.
Minister Kanchana Wijesekara said that according to the IOC company, the next ship carrying petrol is scheduled to arrive in the island on the 22nd or 23rd of this month. However, he added that a proposal has been presented for the arrival of another ship loaded of petrol between the 10th and 15th of this month. The request has been made by the South Asian zone representative of the Malaysian Prime Minister to the relevant company. The minister added that, however, they were unable to confirm details of the proposal. He further said that a group of officials appointed by the Cabinet of Ministers last night have made arrangements for a company to bring fuel before the 3rd of next month.
වෙනද අපි ගත්ත මිලට වැඩිය වැඩි මිලකට තමයි ඕන් ඉදිරිපත් කළා තියෙන්නේ. අපිට දැන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. වෙනත් කිසිවෙක් ඉදිරිපත් වෙලත් නැහැ. වෙන යෝජනාවකුත් නැහැ. ඉදිරිපත් වෙලා තියෙන එකම එකත් වෙනද ගත්ත මුදලට වැඩි මුදලකට අපිට යෝජනා කළා තියෙන්නේ. මම මෙතුමට කිව්වා
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said that he has instructed the minister if they need a premium of $40 for a ship, they could give up to even $50 in this regard. And meanwhile, train passengers have been subjected to severe difficulties this morning as a result of the work stoppage commenced by railway guards.
Deputy General Manager of Railways Gamini Senviratna said that only half of the 50 scheduled daily office trains were able to be operated today. Our correspondents have observed how train passengers in many parts of the island were inconvenienced due to non-deployment of some office trains as well as train delays. They have also reported of instances of passengers travelling in an unprotective manner in footboards and engine compartments of trains. The reporters further said that passenger congestion was especially widespread in the trains operating on the coastal line. In some railway stations, tickets for train passengers have not been issued. The ticketing and inquiry counters of the Fort Railway Station have remained closed. The Deputy General Manager of Railways also said that all express trains of which seats have been reserved operated on schedule. 7 office trains in the coastal line, 7 in the main line and in the upcountry line, as well as 3 in the Avisavela line and 4 in Putlam line are being operated. He further says that up to now, nearly 200 guards have been given the necessary fuel stocks. Meanwhile, the Association of Railway Station Masters say it is temporarily withdrawing from services until restoration of the situation. The Locomotive Engineering Association says train operations are the outcome of team effort of all railway staff and therefore more attention should be focused on the provision of fuel.
12 persons, including former parliamentarian Hirunika Premachandra, who engaged in a protest in front of the President's office in Fort, have been granted bail. They were arrested by the Fort Police Station this morning. The police says statements have been recorded from them after the arrest. Opposition leader Sajid Premadas has arrived at the Fort police station this morning to meet those who were arrested. The police has launched a tear gas attack on a group of farmers of the Samagi Govi Sangvidane who were protesting in front of the president's office in Fort this morning. President of the farmers organization parliamentarian Nalin Bandara has also participated in this agitation. The police has launched a tear gas and a water cannon attack on a protest organized by the trade union Collective Safeguarding Petroleum Resources at the Parliament entrance road today. The attack was carried out when the agitators attempted to go forward, breaking the first police roadblock.
The national television is engaged in media reporting by giving prominence and further consolidating media ethics. As a result, we continue to refrain from telecasting unpleasant sceneries such as corpses and bloodbath. The national television has also decided not to broadcast any reports that would pave way for the breakdown of proper mental state of the viewers. Accordingly, the national television did not telecast any scene of the death reported from near a filling station in Borella yesterday. The Samaga Janabalavega says a massive fraud has taken place in importing of gas.
Parliamentarian of the party, S.M. Marikar, has made these remarks at a media briefing today. He has further pointed out that strong measures will have to be taken against the issue. The MP also said that there is a mafia taking place in the process of fuel distribution at filling stations. Parliamentarian S.M. Marikar said that tenders have been cancelled for $280,000 and agreed to give the contract to the lowest bidder due to the dollar shortage. He added that later on the tender was withdrawn and proposals have been made for the purchase of 15,000 metric tons. Marikar further said that when it was possible to purchase 6,600 metric tons out of the 15,000 metric tons at a lower cost, the second bidder's higher bid was accepted. He said that a fraud of $3.3 million has taken place. He also said that the Co-op committee recommendations are that such frauds and wastage could not be allowed to happen. The parliamentarian further said that Litro Gas Management should be responsible for the wastage of 1,200 million rupees. And meanwhile, the Janata Vimukti Peramuna says a series of massive island-wide agitations has been organized with the objective of chasing away the present government.
Leader of the party, Andhra Kumara Dissanayake, has made a clarification in this regard at a media briefing in Colombo. Leader of the JVP, Andhra Kumara Dissanayake, said that some groups have believed that Ranil Wickremesinghe assuming duties as Prime Minister would bring some relief. He added that, however, the Prime Minister's mediations have only aggravated the problem. A more dangerous situation has arisen in the country today. As a result, a series of protests are being carried out in the country. The JVP leader further said that their party have conducted 5 protest campaigns in 5 towns. He further said that they will engage in further agitations until the government made remedies to bring consolations to the suffering general public. Immediate solutions are required in the fields of education, health, electricity, fuel, gas, supplies and fertilizer.
And meanwhile, the Independent Parliamentarians Forum says it is ready to conduct talks with the ambassadors to bring the country out of the economic crisis, even while staying in the opposition. Parliamentarian Vimal Veeravansha has made these remarks at a media briefing in Colombo today. Parliamentarian Vimal Veeravansha said that although they are in the opposition, they continue to look into ways of protecting the country. The parliamentarian added that some of their efforts to conduct talks with the government groups have borne fruitful results. He added that if these endeavours could become successful, it would be possible to provide solutions to the 4 crises, namely fuel, gas, fertilizer and coal. Parliamentarian Vimal Veeravansha also said that they would be able to give comprehensive details on the outcome of their action in 3 or 4 days' time. The MP further said that if we allowed the proliferation of the crisis, we could not realize how it is going to end. Even at present, the Navy is not patrolling in the northern seas and fishermen do not go for fishing. Stay tuned for international news at the other side of this break.
நாடு விட்டு நாடு சென்று நாளும் உழைத்த பணத்தை வீட்டுக்கு அனுப்பும் போது பரிசு குவியல்கள்.
நீங்கள் வெளிநாட்டிலிருந்து அனுப்பும் பணத்தினை மக்கள் வங்கிக்கு அனுப்பினால் பரிசு குவியல்கள். பீப்பிள்ஸ் ரெமிட்டன்ஸ் கோடி அதிர்ஷ்டம். அனுப்புங்கள், வெல்லுங்கள்.
Welcome back, and in foreign news tonight, a massive online database apparently containing the personal information of up to 1 billion Chinese citizens was left unsecured and publicly accessible for more than a year until an anonymous user in a hacker forum offered to sell the data and brought it to wide attention last week.
The leak could be one of the biggest ever recorded in history, cybersecurity experts say, highlighting the risk of collecting and storing vast amounts of sensitive personal data online, especially in a country where authorities have broad and unchecked access to such data. Access to the database, which is not require a password, was shut down after an anonymous user advertised more than 23 terabytes of data for sale for 10 Bitcoin, roughly $200,000 in a post on a hacker forum last Thursday. The user claimed the database was collated by Shanghai police and contained sensitive information on 1 billion Chinese nationals, including their names, addresses, mobile numbers, national ID numbers, age and birthplaces, as well as billions of records of phone calls made to police to report on civil disputes on crimes. China is home to 1.4 billion people, which means the data breach could potentially affect more than 70% of the population. It is unclear how much people have accessed or downloaded the database during the 14 months or more it was left publicly available online. Two Western cybersecurity experts aware of the existence of the database before it was thrust into public spotlight last week suggests it could be easily discovered by people who need to outlook.
Many countries in the world are being subjected to grave economic downturns. Overseas reports say Luxembourg, regarded as the richest country in the world, has recorded an increase of inflation of 6.8% by May of this year. Luxembourg, located in the Western Europe, has the highest per capita income and the lowest unemployment rate. Global economic data says the country's gross domestic product surpasses $135,000. The overall population is 629,000. The inflation rate in Luxembourg has recorded a figure of only 0.09% in February of last year. According to economic analysts, other countries reporting daily inflation increases include Turkey, Germany, Britain and the US. Meanwhile, the Zimbabwe government has decided to abandon its official monetary unit due to the heavy inflation in the country. Accordingly, Zimbabwe is preparing to use gold coins in place of Zimbabwe dollars. The country's inflation currently stands at 191%.
Terima Kotumi Pantan.
Welcome back, and in sports update, the Lanka Premier League cricket tournament. The third phase of the Lanka Premier League cricket tournament is scheduled to be held on the 15th of this month, and yesterday it was an auction for the selection of players.
The tournament will get underway from the 15th of this month to the 21st of next month. The matches are scheduled to be conducted in Suryavava, Hampantota and R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo. 5 teams will take part in the upcoming tournament as well. The teams are Colombo Stars, Dambulla Giants, Galle Gladiators, Kandy Falcons and Jaffna Kings. 353 players have become eligible for yesterday's auction, which was conducted via video technology. 173 cricketers were local players and the rest 180 were foreign players. The Jaffna Kings team was the champions of the last year's tournament. A formidable Jaffna Kings player, Vanidu Hasaranga, has been recalled for the Kandy Falcons team. Youth cricketer Dunit Wellalage representing the Jaffna Kings team. Captain of Sri Lanka T20 team Dasun Shanaka will head the Dambulla Giants team this time as well. A special feature has been that none of the groups at the auction came forward to purchase Pathum Nisanka, who tops the Sri Lankan batsman in the international T20 batting rankings.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do it just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita signing off with Kasuri. Stay safe. Good night.